What is up, everybody? Welcome to the video. Today I want to discuss L-Carnitine. L-Carnitine is an amino acid. It's found naturally in a couple foods such as red meat, dairy, and it's very essential. Now, here is some L-Carnitine which I had purchased. You can also buy it in supplement form. Just about anywhere you can find protein powder, for example, you'll be able to find L-Carnitine in some fashion. So, story time. For the past 3-4 months or so, I've been experimenting with L-Carnitine more directly, and I've heard of its androgenic receptor upregulation. Now, what does that mean? That means that it can, or it's been shown in some contexts, to actually help upregulate or increase androgen receptor density. So how many androgen receptors you have within a specific area, it increases that, thus providing more gains, for example. Now, that's of course just a theory, but through this supplementation, I ran into a little bit of an issue when I checked my blood work just last month. Now, L-Carnitine usually comes in oral form in about 3,000 milligrams. So for context, with me doing this experiment in upregulating androgen receptor density, I doubled that because mega doses have been shown to do that, or have they? Who knows? This is an experiment that I fully did on myself, so I took the responsibility on myself to do as such. But with that, I found out there are some unintended consequences. And where those unintended consequences come from comes down to your thyroid. So let's talk a little bit about thyroid. So TSH down here, you will see that is thyroid stimulating hormone. What that does is it communicates and reaches your thyroid and tells your thyroid gland, which is roughly about right here, to produce thyroid hormones such as T4 and T3. T4 is considered the inactive form of thyroid hormone, but T3 is what actually gets acted upon and matters when it comes to thyroid hormone. And thyroid, just broadly for context for you, it increases your basal metabolic rate. So the amount of calories you're burning at rest, your resting energy expenditure. So for example, if someone's calorie output when it comes to their body is 2,000, then of course when you're dieting, then you would be able to of course take around 350 to 500 calories, someone might say, for a good calorie deficit, and then minus 500, and this is over a week. That basically computes to 1 pound of fat lost, ideally, in a perfect world. So if your thyroid is underactive, or what's called hypothyroid or subclinical hypothyroid, which means very low active with these hormones, T4 and mostly T3, then your expenditure here, which starts off at 2,000, if your thyroid is low, then you may be starting somewhere around 1,600 calories. And you may not know this unless you got your basal metabolic rate tested, or you got your thyroid tested and know that you may have a little less resting energy expenditure than you thought. So this is what it's all about when it comes to dialing in your maintenance calories, is finding where you're at. And of course, a thyroid blood test would be ideal for sure, for some context, because it may be way beyond just your body weight, your height, and your age and activity level to get your maintenance calories. So that's that in context. So someone having a lower thyroid means that they're burning less calories than they should, ideally. So back to L-Carnitine in this story. As I've been supplementing with roughly 6 grams or 6,000 milligrams of L-Carnitine orally just about every other day, before training, I noticed that in my blood work, when it came back, my thyroid hormones were pretty suspect. So first thing was my TSH down here was elevated almost 2 times the reference range, which means the stimulating hormone trying to communicate with my thyroid to produce these hormones adequately was very upregulated. Now, context, in terms of some studies that they've shown L-carnitine has an effect on thyroid, what that effect looks like comes down to these 2 thyroid hormones, T4 and T3. Now, T4 and T3, they're trying to get to these little muscle mitochondrial cells. So for context here, this is in skeletal muscle, and we go bigger picture here. These T4 and T3 are ultimately trying to make their way into those mitochondrial cells. Now through that, L-carnitine has been shown to inhibit thyroid hormones uptake into these cells. And that happens by transporting fatty acids primarily, because that's what L-carnitine is known for, is burning those fatty acids. But if it's inhibiting thyroid hormone, and you may be megadosing L-carnitine like myself, then that may cause unintended consequences for sure, because the competition between fatty acids and thyroid hormones working may be changing the number that you are burning with calories at the end of the day. So it may almost be a wash, like kind of a counter-regulatory system when it comes to you primarily looking to burn fatty acids versus your thyroid going down. Now, of course, we want to lose fat, we want to gain muscle, but our bodies really just want to be pretty stagnant, pretty chill, and find a happy balance somewhere. So I really just wanted to bring this up and talk a little bit about this unintended consequence that you may have. So low T3 was something that I absolutely had. It wasn't clinically low, but it was lower. And I think that the megadose may actually have done more than just inhibit the uptake and cause a sort of hypothyroidism in myself. So I don't look body-wise like someone that has hypothyroid. Those are generally people that are more overweight, more obese, and it's really their metabolism, this number right here being super low in conjunction with eating a lot of foods, which make that calorie surplus, because they're eating a lot more, be stored likely as body fat. So really just wanted to bring this up. I found this really interesting when I went over my blood work and really just thought, okay, what the hell am I doing here? Because I get adequate thyroid minerals like iodine and selenium. So I looked at, well, what the heck am I doing? And I realized, well, I'm doing this experiment with L-carnitine currently and megadosing it every other day. So let's see what L-carnitine's effects are on the thyroid. And came to this conclusion. Had not seen any videos on it before, unfortunately. It would have been good to know. So that's why I'm making it for you guys right now. So if you learned something, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, so I can continue to keep making videos and post them on here if you guys enjoy them. And until next time, peace out, guys.